poor to revolt. Have you heard that? They say Nigerians are too poor. They are too weak to revolt. Hunger in the land. They are all enough to keep all of you under their control, so to say. Well, time will tell. That's something I do know. Time will tell. But before the time tells, do right? I don't know if you know this, but you need to follow it too, okay? Right now, as people are complaining about hunger, this, hunger, that, the Nigerian politicians from across Nigeria, they are contemplating in creating the following states in Nigeria, just in case if you are not following them, okay? So you have 1 circle, right? Found it. So you see all those ones in yellow, right? They're trying to create what they call the Kainji states, New Oyo states, Ijebu states, Oshe states out of Ondo, Benin, and Edo. Create Edo states out of Niger, part of Abuja, Kwara. They also will be creating Kainji states, Gurara states, Baji or something, Katagun. Then when you come down here, you see Apa State. In the eastern part of Nigeria, they're trying to create Adada State in Enugu. Anioma State from part of Edo, Delta, and Anambra, including part of Imo too. So trying to create Aba states, Ogoja states, as well as see that one on the top right, Amana states, New Oyo, Ijebu, and all that. And as you are watching this video, this state creation reading has actually has kind of passed the first reading. It's on the second reading. So you see, right now, some of these, just because of the judgment of the Supreme Court as well. So I saw one, Abobaku, who was going lyrical. Asiwaju is restructuring Nigeria without making any noise, because to them, restructuring Nigeria means somebody will just kind of play out this kind of scheme and then that's it. Everybody will just be fine. Anyway, currently they have 36 states in Nigeria with 36 state house of assembly, 36 governors, 36 deputy governors. Okay, so they have national assembly from this state as well. Mostly you have, I think you have 9 House of Representatives, and then 3 senators. Okay, so Nigeria is paying currently, right? Nigeria is spending more than 2 trillion naira to manage their political class all over Nigeria monthly. And a year, that is practically over how much? 24 trillion naira. And they will create more. So more states means, even though some of them, as we speak, more than 90% of Nigerian states are currently unable to even pay their workers their salaries. And majority of them depends. 90% of them depends on the allocations of the money they share from Abuja. Right? And when they share this money, it goes into the hands of, like I said, the hands of these state governors and then a local government. No, maybe not local government, but maybe local government as well now, right? So what's creating more states means is that these guys are planning to create 50 states. Okay, everything will be 50, like a United States of America. And with the 50 states, you have 50 governors, 50 deputy governors, 50 state house of assembly members. Sorry, 50 states with state house of assemblies. You would have, what else? More senators. You currently have 109 senators from 36 states plus Abuja. So when you create extra 14 states, right? So you will need extra, let's use averagely, okay? 2 senators, 2 times 14, 28 senators, okay? So that automatically will take your senators in Abuja to 137 senators. So your House of Representatives, right, is currently 360 House of Representatives members, okay? So with the 14 extra states, 9 times 14, help me. 14 times 10, 140. 140 minus 14, that's a 126, right? So add 126 plus the 360 Senate House of Rep members, so you get 486. So your House of Rep will grow from 360 to 480 something, 86. Then your senators will grow from 109 senators to 120 something senators, right? Now put all this together when you need to buy them cars, when you need to give them allowances and things to buy. What people need is, let's call for a national conversation, okay, with the two proposals. Okay. The first proposal would be, one, for those of you who are so scared to live alone because that name, Nigeria, you like it so much, and you want to keep on, and you want everybody to still keep part of that, right? Okay, great. Then you will break up the entire country into, let everybody go into their separate regions where people have affinity, where they have common, anything in common, all right? So you let them form their own union within the union, okay? And you will call them regions or whatever, counties, whatever you want to call them. But let them share their affinity and the wealth of their land, the resources of their land, and make their own laws, their defense, and everything. Let them do that. Right? Everybody does same. You get that now? So that simply means that may everybody day in day. So then we'll share something in common as common interest, okay? That will contribute to defense. So defense means, right, National Guard. National Guard means not National Army, not Nigerian Army, no, National Guard. That National Guard simply means that everybody equally, as they wish, they will contribute members of their own guards who are going to be in their own different countries inside that place, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying, right? Maybe I should begin to use names, right? Let's say the Igbos form their own union and call it Biafra, okay? But it's still part of that contraption somehow, right? However, the Igbos who are going to be making their own laws about their own land, their own currencies, their everything, like we have in the UK, okay? No, not currencies. Put that away, put that aside. So they have their own security outfit that protects the Igbo land, harm to the teeth, whatever name they want to call them. But with an obligation that if Nigeria should come under attack, for example, or any part of Nigeria comes under attack from foreign aggressor, right? So this union, everybody inside this union, the Yoruba Union, the Igbo Union, the Ijo Union, I'm just using that now, okay? Now, they have according to their law, right? They have the obligation to contribute to the National Guard to go and protect that part of Nigeria as they want. So they would debate it in their region and say, should we send members of our National Guard to go join others in combating terrorism in Zamfara? If the House pass it, then you will see the trained soldiers, right, who are going to now join other people from other regions, contributed army from other regions, and all of them will now be tagged with National Guard. They will now go to that region and fight it. Apart from that, everybody day in day. You understand? So this union can then possibly have what you call, listen, it can have what you call a common currency, a common passport, and then, yeah, like sharing the defense together, okay? So this same thing as well will now mean that this union, right, they will agree what percentage of their money they want to contribute to the center to run the currency this, to run the defense that, you know what I mean? Like, that's the first option. The second option in the national dialogue is going to be anybody who doesn't want to be part of this, they have the chance to leave now. Do you want to be part of this one? I said number one. Oh, babu, babu, mba. You have that choice. No, 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 no. We don't want to be part of your confederation. We just want to go and be our Biafra. We just want to go and be our Kwararafas. Or we want to just go and be our own Benin Kingdom. I'm just saying, every part of every group that is part of that contraption should be given a chance to say, yes, we want to be part of it. Nobody should be forced to remain part of it. That's the two options, right? It's not the creation of states, because you see, you do not need 50 governors, 36 governors. Okay? You only need 6 or 5 administrative or whatever you want to call it. Now, when you have them, they can then have county representatives, the ones that represent every community that is mapped into that your administrative block or administrative map. And all these people are public servants. They are not your public masters like you currently have. And then you will see how the cost of all this, cost of maintaining all these rogues will just kind of dried up and made available for something better. We need to have that conversation about that contraption. Everybody who has an idea, restructure this, create more states, create this or that. These are people who are just helping this Lugard enterprise to continue to exist based on the design of the Lugardarians, or what do they call them? Nigerians. You know? So there's no restructuring that could be done behind there's no amendment of any of your trashy constitution that can be done behind the scene. There's no scheme agenda that anybody can cook anywhere thinking this is going to solve it, that's going to solve anything, without the people themselves being on that table and say, do you want this or not? And if you can't form a quorum and all of that, right, then do a referendum. Let's put it through a popular vote. Do you want to be part of Nigeria? Yes or no? No. Yes. No. Let the people decide. But with these rogues who think they know what the people want, with these rogues who believes that they have an idea of what Nigeria needs, we tell them to keep at it before everything will now kind of like collapse over you. And you will have no Nigeria to save anymore. You will only have yourselves to save. We will only have ourselves to save when the whole shit hit the fan, right? Having said that, part of the contributions that will continue to guarantee the demise of this contraption sooner or later is the endemic or the pandemic of corruption. Do you know that there is a report that just came out, right? There's a report that just came out and said that within a single year, 2023 to 2024, over 720, 23 billion naira was given as bribes. And listen, these are bribes given, guess who are the top of the table? Judges and magistrates. The average cash bribe paid in Nigeria in 2023 amounted to 8.2 billion. So they said this national average masks. So what I mean is that 8,284 naira, okay? Like if you begin to break them down, they said the lowest bribe collected in Nigeria was 8,284. Okay, so now read the rest. The national average masks large variations in the size of cash bribes paid by citizens, which can depend on a number of factors, such as the reasons for which bribes are paid and the geographical area where bribes are paid. How bribery works, for a more detailed discussion, right? So similarly, there are large variations in the size of bribes paid by citizens according to the types of public official who received them. among all types of public officials for which there was sufficient data, with an average of 31,000 naira bribe. The largest cash bribes were paid to judges and magistrates, followed by customs or immigration service officers, 17,800 naira averagely, and members of the armed forces, 16,600 naira. By contrast, much smaller average amounts were paid to doctors, nurses, and midwives, public utility officers, and other health workers. Baba, everybody is corrupt, eh? You know when they say the beautiful ones are not yet, Baba, beautiful ones, yes, they have refused to come here anymore. Beautiful ones, okay. Judges, take a look. They said Nigerian judges collected 31,000 bribes. Shall you get me? 31,000 bribes. And as for customs and immigration, I mean, see the line now. Members of the armed forces, land registry officers, police officers, local government area representatives, tax and revenue officers, other public officials, vehicle inspection officers, teacher and lecturers, Federal Road Safety Corps, doctors, nurses, and midwives, public utility officers, abegi, one true emperor. Now who remain? Who is left? Which sector do you really think is serving the people? 723 billion naira. Where is it? 721 billion. A total of roughly 721 billion naira was paid in cash bribes to public officials in 2023, Nigeria. So if we ask ourselves, where do you think Nigeria should start from if Nigeria wants to kind of be on the right track? Where? Where? People can't think intelligently. When you're saying something right now, Nigerians are so loud and so ignorant, right? When you see some of them, loud. When you're talking about something, they jump into it and say, okay, I have something to say. When they begin to say it, you just be like, off point, off from what you're not making any sense. But he's very confident of himself. He's saying all of this nonsense, deviating from the actual conversation, and he's feeling himself or herself feeling like he's making sense. Let me give you an example. What can be done to help Nigeria's stop the bleeding or fiscal irresponsibility? Now, fiscal irresponsibility just simply means corruption, where people take money and they can divert the money to something. They take money for something and they can divert it to something else without any sort of consequences, right? Now, what can we do to stop that? And then you just see this typical Nigerian will jump into it and say, okay, yeah, you know something, first and foremost, I want us to know that the global economic crisis has created the loopholes and a gap in the financial world. And I say, okay, what are you trying to say? See, let me finish. I just want you to understand the bigger factor and concept of corruption worldwide. What we call corruption in Nigeria is not actually corruption. Let me give you an example. You know that Bill Gates is the world's richest man. Okay. What are you trying to say? Go. We want to stop the fiscal irresponsibility being perpetrated by politicians. And you, Dr. what? Dr. Ban Kunle. They say you are doctor of physics, Abinkan, right? And you want to say something about this. Listen, let me finish. The problem with the world is that you don't let people finish. What is Bill Gates? What is this and all of that? That's what they do, typical Nigerians. And that is why they have all of all the theory, okay, for everything. But when it comes to the practical, they will speak more theories. Typical, you know. So you have the criminals who are running the system, and you ask yourself, why? What can be done to stop these rogues? The best you can do to stop these rogues is to actually wipe off the entire system. I am talking about a total wipe off. Wipe out and start afresh. All these criminals have names. All the people who are taking all this bribe and manipulating the system, forging certificates, forging documents, here and there, 721 billion naira went into the hands, in the pocket, into the pocket of those who are supposed to be serving the public. Truthfully, I just thought I should point that out. Before we go to the next one, which is also an advice, and I put low. That's it. Laugh out loud. Kind of. Don't take my advice. You know, Tifnumbu that took the state governors to court so that local governments can have their money. Sounds so great on paper, in part in the news. But in practice, there is something they are not telling you. I am so willing that they can sort of, since it is a place where anything goes, Nigeria is a place where anything goes. And it's the way these guys are running things in that place as well. It's like, it's a place that anything goes. So enjoy it while it lasts, if they ever pay you. But you see, the idea itself, which is practically the idea of a true federalism, okay? What is true federalism to these rogues? True federalism to them is that you chop, I shop. If you did federal, allow me, I run my own things. At the state level, don't interfere in my own affair. Kind of, that's true federalism to them. But the true federalism is that if your law says you have 3 tiers of government, the federal government, the state, and the local government, and then you are sharing your Robin Peter to pay Paul style of allocation sharing in Nigeria, right? So you are sharing it to 51% for the federal, 25% for the state. Okay, sorry, yeah. Then maybe 24% for local governments. That's how they share the money. So how come the person that is collecting 25% is also claiming the 24%, and it is through federalism? James Ibori that looted the state and ran to the UK, and he had to go to jail in the UK. Remember, James Ibori is the guy who first spoke against that Supreme Court judgment, okay? That it is not true federalism. True federalism is when the governors continue to keep the money or dictate how the money is spent. But if your Supreme Court is the last court, whatever the Supreme Court says is the last thing, Abi, everybody has to obey, even though their constitution says otherwise, right? Now, the whole conflict of a thing, in a way, okay, if the money goes straight to the local government, and to those of you who are one Nigerianist, yeah, you see, I use it properly. I didn't call you Nigerian now, okay? Because I know some of you who are one Nigerianist, but to you, this contraption can still be saved. Now, this is a chance for you. I told you yesterday that it's a good news, but even though the whole thing is just a scam to hoodwink, deceive, and make you feel like, well, let's assume that they want to probably push it beyond what Bokwari did. Because Bokwari also had the same announcement. I don't know if you remember. This was about 4 years ago, when Bokwari announced that local government now have the autonomy, executive order. Supreme Court of Tanko technicality also supported him, by the way, right? But none of that ever materialized. And the same Supreme Court has ruled again. And this time around, Tifnumbu has been looking for something to actually say, I have done this, look at this. Okay? And the people are already taking it in as well. Like, oh yeah, we are waiting for the release of the money. And let's now assume that they are going to be releasing the money to the local government areas and not to the governors as they used to do. And the governors are going to now possibly have to maybe have the naked pictures of anybody they want to sponsor to be local government chairman. Because the investment right now is that they have to trust you that if you collect the money, you will kind of share it with them. So they will probably need your note, APC, PDP now, for the governors to allow you to go be local government chairman, right? But to those of you who are one Nigerianist, okay, if you by any chance able to force them, right, a revolution that could actually really clear out all these rogues before you participate in any of the election, that angle is an area where you could possibly begin to break into their system and possibly show us what you think or show us what you prefer than the current shege you are. So I'm just saying, like, imagine you are a local government chairman, right? And they kind of pay you 800 million naira for your local government. And you are not a thief. Because now all of them, they condemn them right now. And to those of us who know Nigeria very well, right? A lot of you are only waiting for your turn. Now, if you want to prove to the world that no, you are not, when you want to, this country has to work, then maybe you should go and join the local government. Become local government chairmen, chairwomen, councillors. Because your money now comes to you. You don't have to care about who is the governor. Now you can actually begin to implement that your idea of Nigeria that you want to get through election, right? You can possibly